And the hunt continues. This latest hunt brings my total to 90,000 nickels searched. I did not find any buffaloes in this batch. This this hunt of 5 boxes or 10,000 nickels, this was all over the place. I would get on hot streaks, kind of get in the groove, and then I would just go roll after roll after roll after roll, finding nothing. Uh, did start it off really good. The very first 1930s coin, I found a key date, a 1939 S, which you'll see later on in the video. They only minted 6.6 million of these. Not an easy coin to find. And I did find 4 more silver nickels, bringing the total silver nickels found out of this 90,000 to 31. With a melt price as of today's market close, each nickel's worth a $1.42 or $1.42. So total melt value I found so far is $44.09. I've also added into my spreadsheet that I got going on just an estimated amount of time that I've spent so far. That 90,000 nickels, it's estimated at 52 and a half hours. I just averaged that out. We'll just say an hour and 10 minutes a box. But I didn't get spread this hunt out throughout the week like I typically have gotten in the groove of doing. I just got busy at work, and then I'm also back in the gym, and sleep is priority at the moment. So there was 2 nights there that the day finally wound down. I'm like, I don't have it in me to go through these nickels tonight. So I got them all done now. I have another 10,000 on order for next week, which is going to bring the total to 100,000. Hopefully, I only got about a quarter million more nickels to go before this is complete. Anyway, I got some close ups of the finds and just some interesting facts coming up. This was brutal getting through this next batch of 10,000, which brings me to 90,000 nickels searched. I found 127 nickels from 1938 to 1959, 4 of them from the 1930s. We got 52 from the 1940s and 67 from the 1950s. 4 silver nickels. I did spot a 2009. Got a foreign coin. I always like finding these. These ones come from Bermuda. They got that fish on the back. And another bonus penny from Canada. Nothing special though with the silver nickels. We did get an S, but I've already found 3 of these. I think this was a 1943. Yep, 1943. The true find of this hunt, I haven't found one of these since I was at 36,000. This is a key date. This is a very tough nickel to find. It is a 1939 S. There it is right there. I have already found one of these. However, I do need one for my second book. So, I'll take that as a find. Interesting fact, they only made 6.6 million of these nickels based on just my average findings and what I've read on the internet on the coin community forums. Roughly 80% of all these nickels from 1938 to 1959, they're gone. They've either been destroyed, they're put in collections. So that only leaves maybe 1 to 1.3 million left. So, pretty tough find. But I got another one. I haven't found any of these until this batch. So these are what they call impaired proofs. These are coins that came in mint sets, and somehow wound up in circulation. And what is a mint set? It's when you buy them like this. So this is a perfect example. I believe it's this coin. Yes. So here's one that I bought years ago. 1988 is my birth year. It's just a pristine example. And this is what they look like after they've been in circulation. This one's pretty rough shape. So just kind of makes you wonder, like, who busted open that case to spend one of these? And they always have a mirror-like finish, and that one's pretty goofy looking. So, and then I haven't even went through the other coins from last week. I set these aside. These are modern coins. Stuff that you'll find all the time, but they're in exceptional condition. So I'll go through and see if I need upgrades. We got a 61. There's a 64. This might be... That's 1961. Really good looking. I had another one in here. See if I can find it. Oh, that's a good looking 88. Anyway, if I find it, I'll post it here in a second. We also found some Canadian cents. Found 16 of them. Interesting fact I learned about these. So I've got to be up to maybe 150 Canadians that I have found. I have not found any older than 1980. And they made tons of them throughout the 60s and 70s. Well, I guess in 1982, Canada, because all the nickels prior to 1982 were made of 99.9% nickel, they started reclaiming them and melting them down. So they're very difficult to find. But some of these nickels are just an absolute brutal shape. I had my hopes up on this 1939. I thought there might have been a mint mark on it, but there's not. I've got rolls of those. But anyway, let's get these tallied up and see where everything's at. Alright, well, it turns out that I didn't need the 39S for either book. I must have found this one back in 2015 when I started all of this. So I got one there, and I got one there. So, funny story about this coin. This is a very hard one to find. I found this by chance. So I was out on a date with my now wife, and I took her to a place called Nickel World. It's just a little cheap arcade place. Everything's a nickel. Right before I was about to put this coin into a machine, I noticed in 1938. And to my surprise, I saw the D mint mark on the back, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So I promptly placed that in my wallet. So, kind of a neat story where that coin came from. I got two upgrades out of here. One is a 1946S. So, kind of a difficult coin to find. As you can see, they only minted 13.6 million of them. This one's in pretty nice shape. See, this one's just got like some grime and blemishes on it. So the old one will go up here to replace that crusty little fella. Oh, golly. Anyway, the other one is a 1947. This one's not in terrible shape, but there's no scratch. A little bit more detail in Jefferson's hair. So that's the finds. I got another 100,000 on order for next week. Which will bring the total to this hunt to 100,000 nickels. And again, there's the silvers that I found. Didn't need either of them. I got to be getting close to finding a couple of these that I need. You know, this book I really didn't appreciate. I went through 8,000 nickels back in 2015 before I stopped working on this. Really had little appreciation of what I had found in here, especially that guy. I remember when I found it, I just thought, well, they sure didn't make a lot of those. Oh my gosh. There's guys on the internet that have searched through 500,000 before they find another one. So, I know those early 30s and these silvers will be tough, but anyway, we'll figure it out. Thanks for watching. You can pause here if you'd like. Here are the totals of all the nickels that I have found from 1938 to 1959 out of 90,000 nickels. And here's the key date nickel that I found out of this batch. It is a 1939 S. This is the second one that I have found out of the 90,000 and the third one that I have found in my entire life. And I'd like to give a shout out to my mom for gifting me this 1919 Buffalo nickel over the weekend last week. She found this nickel when she was a little girl, 7, 8, 9 years old, and she has kept it her entire life. So she was going through some things, I guess, last week, and she stumbled upon it, and she was kind enough to give it to me. So thanks, Mom. It is for sure a coin that I will treasure forever. Anyway, that's all for this week. Got another 10,000 nickels on order for next week, bringing the total to 100,000. Thanks for watching and enjoy your Labor Day weekend.